Hello, good morning, dreamers. Sorry, I've got like a weird hair thing happening this morning. Um, and wow, 3 weeks. We've made it 3 weeks, you guys. This is day 21, the last day of the third week. We've got 1 week to go. Or I guess 21, yeah, a week and a couple of days. Um, and what a big and crazy week it is. I've just been, I don't know. So one thing that I have prayed for as I'm leaving my job is peace. I tend to freak out about things and run away and like totally just abandon peace and try to fix it myself. And the Lord has been gracious to give me just so much peace, even though like I feel like part of me is still very scared and part of me is very sad. I've probably cried every day this week, but in a good way. Um, I just have such peace about leaving, and that's why I'm really glad that I'm not prolonging everything, that I'm leaving after this week. So, 3 today, and then 2 more days left at my job, and then I'm done, which is really strange. And that's why I really liked that goals sort of came here at this moment when next week I will have so much time to just reflect. I plan on using some time next week just to reflect and think on what's left for me in the rest of the year and what's, coming and all that good stuff. And so goals was a great way to start this morning, just as I reflect on that. And I liked the prayer in here that is, like it's very humble and very, please God guide me kind of thing. And I feel like that's really where I am. Like there are two parts that I highlighted. One was what do you want me to do with my time, resources, and the talents you've blessed me with? Whatever it is, help me to follow your plans with abandon. Your plans are far better than my own. Help me to trust that and take action on your leading and nothing else. And I feel like God has been really good to give me those opportunities, like this 30 days of prayer. It was not anything that I had ever planned, right? But it was something that I just had a clear sense of from the Lord. And next month, I was going to launch one particular course, but I woke up with this amazing idea last week and was like, or actually this week, and was like, oh, this is what it should be because it fits my audience better. So there's going to be something cool happening in October for all of you guys. That should help meet you where you are and take you where you want to go. And that was just a gift from the Lord. Like he disrupted my plans in order for me to find the thing that's better. And I think that's what it is we have to be fluid. We have to be willing to surrender our plans and our personal goals in order to have the goals that God has for us. That's kind of been a big theme with the women's ministry at my church this year is just interruptions, being willing to be interrupted by God. And I think if we start, instead of making our plans and then God interrupts them, maybe we start with our plans with God and then, maybe He still interrupts because it just takes us time to get to certain ideas. But if not, then we have more peace as we go. We have more confidence as we go. We're questioning less all the different things because we have that idea, that goal that's from God and not from ourselves. And I think that's really important. So that's one thing I've been working on is trying to start even something like a marketing plan or a business goal or something with a time of like a little bit of prayer and or just making that or knowing that that's coming up, making that a part of what I pray leading up to that, just because I know that so much of what we do depends on Him. I don't know why that wouldn't curl this morning. What we do depends on Him, and it's just one of those things that we need to be willing to surrender. It's really hard because there's this balance of we are given these skills and these talents and we're supposed to use them. And then there's the, but we're also supposed to rely heavily on the Lord. So there's like a weird balance of we need to do this, but also be open. And I think that's what it is just being open and flexible and adaptable to what the Spirit is working in you or in people around you. That's one thing that, sorry, I just kind of equate everything to missions because that's my world right now. But on the mission field, like you can go in and you think that it's going to look one way, but once you get in there and you're actually talking to people and you're getting to know the culture and you're learning the language, you understand that it's going to look different. And you have to be flexible and adaptable or you can't actually meet your purpose there. So really, it's an eye on what is your bigger purpose. Is your bigger purpose to get X, Y, and Z, or is it to glorify God? And if it's to glorify God, then it happens through excellence in business, absolutely. But sometimes that depends on our reliance on the Lord and our goals that are aligned with what He has for us in our lives. And so that's just something to mull over today, is just kind of where did your goals come from? Praying through, are there any that you need to sort of open up and let the Lord speak into, or do you need to start over, And then I also loved the paragraph, give me the energy, wisdom, and endurance to take action on the goals you have for me. Help me not to be distracted by comparison, fear, or anything in this world. Keep my eyes fixed only on you, Father, as I make tiny steps forward and big leaps of faith. And I think that's what all of life is and feels like. There are always things to be distracted by. I think we do that to ourselves in our own goals, not let alone the goals that the Lord has for our lives. But just to be able to actually take action and move forward is big. And then being able to keep our eyes fixed on God as we go, so that we can take tiny steps forward and big leaps of faith. I think in some other group, I was commenting with Carrie Morgan, and we were talking about how like you just need to take little steps, right? And and I was just reflecting on that that the world is changed by those tiny steps of obedience, and that turns into a big leap of faith. Like it looks big, and sometimes there are big leaps of faith, but really it's built on those tiny steps. Like this leap of faith to leave my job didn't happen because is built on the foundation of those tiny steps that I've been taking all year long that have led me here, that have sort of gotten me from point A to point B, and now is giving me the courage and conviction and everything else to take that jump off the other way. And so I think it's just really important that you know and that you have those ideas and that you get that together, that you're able to focus and that you focus on those little steps. So I think goals have to be divided into little steps so that you see progress, you feel progress, you don't feel overwhelmed, but they give you confidence to keep going and make that big leap of your goal. And then the verse that I picked out of the ones that they shared was Matthew 6:33. But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. And I think that just goes perfectly with what I've been talking about, and how our main goal in life is to glorify God. Like that's the end is to glorify God. And if we do that, then we know that God takes care of us. And so whatever that looks like in our lives, like just being willing to be open and let God work, and just keeping our eyes fixed on Him and looking at what He has for us and the goals that He's given us, and just this overarching need to glorify Him in all that we do, that's what drives us. That's what keeps us going. And that's what makes a difference. And so if we focus on that, the ideas, the goals, everything else will come. It won't feel overwhelming because you will have that support that He brings to you. Like you will have those things. I have never wanted for an idea when I needed one, because I believe that the Lord provides. And And I think that applies to everything: time, talent, treasure, ideas, creativity, like all of that, God does provide. And so just keep your eyes on Him and keep your keep Him in your life and your goals, and He will fulfill those. So, yeah, that's all I have today. I hope that was encouraging, and just kind of reflecting today on the many, many things that I'm figuring out and thinking through. And I appreciate you guys showing up and still praying. It's Wednesday, so tomorrow I have one more giveaway thing, and then I've got a really fun surprise for our last week of prayer. So stay tuned for all of that. I need to square away that last surprise completely before I tell you all about it, but I will tell you all about it. I'm really excited about it, and I think you will be too. So, okay, talk